Prosecutors say they were part of a gang that terrorized pizza delivery workers and cab drivers. Tonight, 2 teenagers are guilty of murder. They are only teenagers, and now they could spend the rest of their lives behind bars.
The guilty verdicts came down during News 4 at noon, and a jury convicted both teens of murdering a Buffalo cab driver. Family members of the victim say the verdict brings them some closure, but they will never get their loved one back. News 4's Rich Newberg spoke with them. Rich?
Don and Jackie, almost a year has gone by since Mazen Abdallah was murdered. His family had every hope that justice would be served. Prosecutors won their case, and 2 men will be going to prison for a long time.
These are dangerous thugs.
Sean Austin and Maurice Howie were found guilty of taking part in a robbery spree that ended up with the murder of airport taxi driver Mazen Abdallah last March. He was shot twice in the head. His body was found inside his cab after he had picked up the teenagers at the Perry housing projects.
These are people who are sticking guns in people's faces and robbing them. And these are people that worked up to sticking gun in people's faces and killing them.
Mazen was well loved by his fellow cabbies. His family had cried out for justice. They are grateful to law enforcement agencies for solving the case. Mazen's brother told me it brings a sense of closure.
We lost a brother, a son, an uncle, a granduncle, and it makes things a little easier for us now.
Maurice Howie was a star quarterback at South Park High School. His convictions could bring him 50 years to life in prison.
I don't care if he can throw a ball 70 yards. He took another human life without just cause. That makes him a murderer.
Maurice Howie's attorney had tried to convince the jury that his client had no intent to commit robbery or murder.
I don't believe that my client is the one who inflicted the gunshot wounds to Mazen Abdallah's head. I think he did not pull the trigger.
But prosecutors Paul Parisi and Chris Belling convinced the jury that a series of robberies against pizza deliverers and taxi drivers escalated to a point that cost an innocent man his life.
The level of intimidation and the level of violence had ratcheted up at each crime until the ultimate crime was committed, that being murder.
2 other men charged in the string of robberies will soon go on trial. Another pleaded guilty.